Rhett and Cassie want is to keep their son alive.
It was like seeing your child walk for the first time.
So why were they raided by Victorian police?
There was 3 police officers standing at the door.
A young child, an illegal substance.
You're comfortable with the way they've acted?
I am.
Is it appropriate behaviour?
And treated like criminals.
Fingerprinted, having your mugshot taken.
The mother is 36 weeks pregnant.
What's going to happen to Cooper?
We're not criminals.
Hello and welcome to Sunday Night. I'm Chris Barth. How dare Victorian authorities raid, fingerprint, photograph and question a young couple for the crime of trying to save their 3-year-old son Cooper, who suffers from severe epilepsy. Last month, Rhett and Cassie bravely told Helen Kapelos about the remarkable changes in young Cooper when they started giving him small amounts of cannabis oil in his milk. They believe it could save his life. Their doctors didn't disagree. They even supervised Cooper's doses. But that was of no consequence to the Victorian government. 10 days ago, Rhett and a very pregnant Cassie's greatest fear came true when police knocked on their door and hauled them in for questioning. Since then, it has only gotten worse for this battling couple, who are now, it seems, enemies of the state. And for Cooper, who before the oil suffered terrible seizures, his life now appears to hang in the balance.
I think we're going to have to call
Curbs. Buddy. Hey, mate.
Dad here.
At the worst time, what was life like for you?
Life was really hard. It was really unpredictable and nothing was ever certain.
He was having weekly ambulance trips, hour-and-a-half long seizures. We were living in hospital 98% of the time.
Ambulance, please. Without the cannabis oil, we wouldn't have our son today. We'd be visiting him in a cemetery.
And you're convinced about that?
Absolutely.
Got a mum?
When we first met Cassie and Rhett, they, like many Australians with sick or terminally ill loved ones, were using medicinal cannabis oil to treat their son. They wanted to be heard on this important issue and, hoping to help others, bravely spoke out.
Has it been difficult for you to speak out about this?
Yes. Yeah, just the unknown. Are we going to get a phone call tomorrow from the police and things like that? You don't know any day what could happen. They showed up this morning with a warrant. We're actually on our way down to the police station as we speak.
A raid this morning?
They took all of his supply, all of his medicine. They wanted us down at the station today. Having to go down to the police station for a formal interview. Being fingerprinted, having your mugshot taken. I'm due again in 5 weeks. And looking at delivering any day now and having to deal with this on top of it hasn't been easy. We're not criminals. We're just simply trying to save our child.
This is Cooper before the cannabis oil. This is Cooper after.
1, 2, 3.
Cooper is 3.5.
Is that fun?
And he's just coming out of his shell now, personality-wise. We can actually see what things he does like, and we'd never seen that before. He's giving kisses, it's okay.
Cooper uses his vision a lot more now than he ever has. He's more alert about his surroundings. And it's not a matter of if anymore, it's just when he crawls. We would have never had that without the cannabis.
Cooper was born perfectly normal, but at 1 month old, he contracted meningitis, leaving him with severe epilepsy and cerebral palsy.
We're told that he would never walk, never talk, never sit, never do any of those childhood things.
He really started to decline, and we started to feel that he was reaching the end.
The medications their doctors had prescribed Cooper had little or no effect.
That was our turning point where we have to try something. You know, these medications aren't working.
It's important to know that the ingredient that gives drug users a high has been removed from medicinal cannabis oil. It's even more important to know that cannabis oil was given to Cooper in hospital under the supervision of nursing staff and his doctors.
So these are medical records obtained from the hospital?
Yes. And that shows his medical cannabis documented, given in hospital.
So the doctor's have written the doses right next to medical cannabis?
Yes, that's his morning dose, his lunchtime dose, afternoon and evening.
Following his first dose of cannabis oil, Cooper's improvement was almost instantaneous.
Within 15 minutes of his first dose, we've sort of looked at each other thinking, are we imagining this? Is this for real? And then it just continued to improve from there.
It was one of the most touching moments in our lives. It was like seeing your child walk for the first time.
Our main concern now is what happens if we can't access this anymore. Just the unknown. Are we going to get a phone call tomorrow from the police and things like that? You don't know any day what could happen.
Our world came crashing down as soon as we heard that knock on the door. There was 3 police officers standing at the door with a search warrant for our house. They wanted to come in and have a look at the cannabis tincture that we give to Cooper. After that, they seized the tincture.
For you, Cassie, was this your worst fear realised?
Yes. I mean, I understand we're breaking the law, but we're doing it to try and save our son. We're not doing it out of pleasure. We're doing it because we have to.
They were required to present at Epping Police Station in Melbourne for a formal interview. We arranged for a lawyer to accompany them, along with our reporter, Helen Kapelos.
Hi, guys. It's Daniel Stewart. Kelly has a couple of lawyers.
Brett Wallace.
I'm going to have to... Sorry, I've got the solicitor here. I'm going to have to go. Sorry, I'll call you later.
Is everything all right, Cassie?
Yeah.
Are you all right, though?
Yeah.
I know it's an emotional time. It'll be okay. We'll get you through this. Okay?
Yeah, I know. I just can't help it. I don't want to cry in there, but I can't stop crying.
It's all right. Why have they been targeted? Well, a complaint was raised with Victoria Police.
Are you able to tell us where the complaint came from?
No.
Are you comfortable with the way the raid's been carried out?
I am.
Are you comfortable with the way they've acted?
I am.
You've just been contacted by the police and they've asked you, or requested a formal interview this afternoon.
Yes.
Have they said what it's in relation to?
To giving Cooper the medical cannabis.
And that was following a raid this morning?
Yes.
And what happened in the raid?
They took all of his supply, all of his medicine.
Now, this isn't easy. There's the balance of what a young child, an illegal substance, and when we're told about that, we need to act now.
An illegal substance that his parents are saying is the difference between life or death in this situation. So they're feeling desperate, understandably.
It's worrying also on the grounds that what's going to happen to Cooper in the near future. His illness could progress quite quickly without this medication.
I'm not quite sure of what the research says about its benefits, Neil. And
There's no question it's useful with their police.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so I wasn't aware of that.
We're here from Sunday night. And we're here with Cassie and Rhett. You've requested a formal interview this afternoon.
Did you have a moment to speak to me?
Yes, we do, Cassie.
Sergeant Brett Meadows.
Okay, just a moment.
Thank you.
Cassie and Rhett were split up, fingerprinted and photographed, and then interviewed separately. They were not told who had made the complaint, but soon after leaving the station, calls from the Department of Human Services began.
So you were told by DHS that they wanted to talk to you specifically about Cooper and the cannabis oil.
Yes. Yes. I'm due again in 5 weeks and looking at delivering any day now and having to deal with this on top of it hasn't been easy.
The mother is 36 weeks pregnant, highly stressed. They don't feel that they've been treated with dignity and respect at all. They were fingerprinted, the mugshots were taken.
Look, I take you back to the point. Police are given information about a very young child and illegal substance.
We know that without the cannabis tincture, that's a death sentence to Cooper. He will deteriorate, you know. It's not a matter of if, it's just when that happens.
Premier, you'd be aware of a police raid that was carried out in Murder last week. Did police act on medical advice before carrying out that raid?
Police make their own decisions about their actions. The decisions the police make are decisions made by the police.
Were you aware of the raid before it was carried out?
No.
Cassie and Rhett now feared that not only was Cooper's health at risk, but that authorities would try and take him away from them.
That's our biggest fear now is, are they going to try and say that we're not caring for him, we're not meeting his needs, when doctors have said that they've seen the opposite, that they've seen improvement with this treatment?
So are you worried that Cooper might be taken away from you?
Very much so.
This is the minister responsible for the Department of Human Services. Despite numerous requests by email and phone over several days, Mary Woolridge refused to be interviewed. Her staff said her schedule was too busy. For Cassie and Rhett, already struggling to deal with the raid, the increasing phone calls from the minister's department, and all the while caring for Cooper and their other children, life was about to get worse.
Good try.
The day after the raid, Cassie became very ill.
Cassie was admitted to hospital. She had high blood pressure. She's been there for 4 days now.
Are you concerned for your baby's health?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm worried about both of them. This stress isn't good for either of them.
When you've got a young child, illegal substances, a complaint to police, we haven't got a choice about whether we...
It's an illegal substance that was administered in hospital under the care of doctors.
My understanding was the illegal substance was at home.
And in hospital too.
Well, I'm not aware of that.
Cassie was in hospital for 4 days. When she returned home, she was rung again by staff at the Department of Human Services.
How did you feel when you got that phone call?
Very scared and distressed, thinking, are they going to rock up next and try and take Cooper or something like that? As a parent, when you get that call, that's your automatic fear.
And do you think that that's a possibility?
Maybe. It could happen, we don't know.
How much of a part do you think that phone call played in you being readmitted to hospital?
A major part. 3 days beforehand, my blood pressure was only 120/70, and that afternoon it was 150/101. So a massive jump within 3 days.
Is this appropriate behaviour, considering the mother is heavily pregnant, 36 weeks pregnant, has a severely disabled child on her hands and has been admitted to hospital since and has been continually harassed by DHS while she's in hospital bed?
The decisions the police make...
Is it appropriate behaviour?
The decisions the police make are decisions the police make.
So since hospital admission, have you heard from DHS again?
Yes, they knew I was in hospital and they were still ringing.
They were calling you directly on your mobile?
Yes.
While you're in hospital?
Yes.
See you later.
The full weight of the state has been brought to bear on a young couple simply trying to give their son a better quality of life. The future for Cooper, Cassie, Rhett and their family is uncertain.
We're not criminals. We're just simply trying to save our child.
It's been a rough day, Cassie.
I can't stop worrying now. Just being at the police station. You know, we've never been there for anything. Never been charged with anything, and it's just to be made to feel like that.
We're not criminals. We shouldn't feel like criminals for treating our son and wanting our son to have as healthy life as he possibly can. We shouldn't be criminals for that. But in the eyes of the law, we are.
And while Cassie and Rhett wait to find out if they'll be charged, you have to ask why the Victorian government would behave this way to a young couple whose life is already difficult. In America, more and more states are liberalising their laws to allow the medical use of marijuana. So why aren't our politicians listening? There's a statement from Mary Wooldridge, the Minister for Community Services, on our website. It's an interesting read.